tomorrow. There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow.
Oh, shoot. 1:16 a.m. I got one person in here. That's all I need. So I'll stay for a few minutes. Everybody in my house is knocked out. But not me. I came on here really. There's a million shows out there talking about the fight right now. I'm actually waiting for the post-fight press conference to start. H Money. H Money. Hashtag mob. What's up, my friend, my brother? Canelo looked good. He knocked Mungia down. I think the biggest, for me, the biggest question was, can Mungia take Canelo's shot? And he couldn't. Canelo was never hurt. Mungia fought as best as he could. But this wasn't surprising, this fight. H Money wasn't impressed by Canelo tonight. I hear that. I think he clearly won. He clearly didn't go for the knockout. I don't think he carried him, but I think he took his foot off the gas. He's looked better, but look, he fought a young, strong guy. Really, the main reason I wanted to come on, so I watched this on ppv.com, and I was flipping back and forth to the DAZN at the end of the night, and I'm on here because of my boy, Sean Porter. Now, Sean Porter said that there's two fighters that deserve a fight, and he ranked them. He said number 1, Terence Crawford, number 2, David Benavidez, and I just disagree. I think David Benavidez has been a 2-time champ at 168. He deserves to fight Canelo at 168. But in boxing, deserve doesn't have anything to do with it. But Terence Crawford, I don't know. Am I alone? Who thinks that Terence Crawford deserves a shot at Canelo more than Benavidez? I was surprised that Sean Porter said that. Jay Rich, Canelo can't knock out anyone anymore. He would have to kill Benavidez. I know Benavidez would show up to kill him. Exactly. And Benavidez is a much more powerful puncher than Mungia. Much more powerful. Great fight. Was waiting on the knockout all night. It was a good fight, Jay. I don't know. It wasn't a Hagler-Hearns. It wasn't a Morales-Barrera. Mungia tried his best, but his shots just had no effect. And his only chance was to outwork Canelo. And he just couldn't. He couldn't. And that 12th round, I'm not in there. It's easy for me to say what would happen, but it looked like if Canelo really turned on the Jets, because Mungia was tired. Watch that 12th round again. I watched the 12th round again, and Mungia was tired. And Canelo didn't press though. He's in the ring. Maybe he felt like he couldn't knock him out. I don't know. So I hear the post-fight presser on, but I got to figure out how to put polls up, because I really want to know, do people think, like my biggest question is, do people think Terence Crawford deserves a shot more than Benavidez? I don't. And I thought Canelo said he wasn't going to fight him. So what do I know? Bro was good texting you during the night. It was I'll tell you this again. I like Amazon Prime, PBC, how they keep moving the fights, man. They keep moving them. They keep moving them. They don't play in between fights. Trick, my man. Trick Nolte. George, this fight reminds me of when Jesse James Leija fought Francisco Bojado, who was supposed to be a star. Leija took Bojado to school, just like Canelo took Mungia to school. The older fighter schooled the younger fighter. He did school him. But it's not shocking. Like, nobody's shocked. Nobody's shocked. Again, for me watching, my biggest question was, could Mungia handle Canelo's power? And he couldn't. No way in hell Bud deserves the fight over Benavidez. But I would like to see Bud against him. Man. I guess. My man AI George rocking on. Yeah, it's 121 East Coast. I'm East Coast, so it's 121. It's not 1021 like over there on the west side. But text on that. Not only do I think that the Bud fight shouldn't happen first, I don't think Bud stands a chance at 168 with Canelo. God, Bud, like 168. That's they do make weight classes for a reason. Trick Noti, poor ring IQ by Mungia. He was throwing looping shots at a smaller target. You're right, but I mean, he did use the jab a little more than he usually does, which was a different wrinkle to his game. But this is not unexpected. I mean, he overwhelms people. He throws a lot of shots, and usually the guys that he's fighting, they can't take the shots. They can't take the shots, and that's why he wins. So this is not surprising. I just like I agree with this right here. I mean, I just think he's too, and he's also younger, which is crazy. I know he's had a lot more fights, but he's also younger. Amia Miro, we all expected that outcome, man. The boost Canelo got after Benavidez' question, yeah, and you're right. There was nothing surprising about this fight. I don't think. I really don't. So Canelo, what does Canelo get? Like he got like 35, 40 million for Mungia. So he's saying the money has to be right. Man, how right does it have to be? You can price yourself out of fights. It's okay. I sound like a broken record like everyone else. It's okay if he doesn't want to fight Benavidez. It's okay. Give up the belts, but they'll never strip him. They'll never strip him. Those first 3 rounds, Mungia looked great. I thought it was about to be Canelo Bivol all over again. Then the knockdown came. Yeah, although it felt different from Bivol because I felt like Bivol controlled Canelo. I didn't think Mungia was controlling him. I thought Canelo was just being patient. I think there was a difference. Mungia couldn't avoid that left hook or straight right either. Yeah, Canelo too precise. He was very precise. It is David's turn. I think it is. And I'm glad Jim Gray, and I knew Jim Gray was gonna end with a Benavidez question. Jim Gray didn't even ask about Crawford. He didn't even ask about Crawford. He had to ask about Benavidez. I guess my question is, they talked to Tank. Was Ryan Garcia in the building at all? And if he was, it's too bad they didn't get him. PBC has their own agenda. They act like no one else exists in boxing. So since Ryan Garcia isn't with them, maybe they just didn't want to talk to him. But it's too bad. If Ryan was in the house, it would have been great to get an interview. Or maybe he's being smart and he's not talking to anybody. But SWN up. Another Canelo fight where we all knew the outcome. I'm convinced we'll never get the Benavidez fight. I'm with you because nothing was surprising about that fight. I thought he was gonna knock Mungia out in 9 or 10 rounds, and when he dropped him in the 4th, I thought it was over. Not that round because the round was there was only 10 seconds left. Though I don't want to see David drain himself to 168 for a Canelo fight. He is too big for 168. I think that David will have a hard time getting 168 again. He looks big. Well, maybe this is the plan. I've read this before. People have had this theory before that he'll make Benavidez move up to 175 and get comfortable there, and then say, "All right, I'll fight you, but it has to be at 68," and try to drain him down. So maybe that's what's going to happen. Would rather see David fight the winner of. Yeah, but when is that going to be? It's too bad. I'm going to reach out to Scully and see if I can get him next week. I did text Scully, and I didn't ask him any specifics, but I just told him, it's a bummer. I'm sorry. And he said, yeah, Artur will get himself right again as soon as possible. Yeah, he would be motivated, but how hard would it be? Because he is a big dude. He's a big dude, man. So maybe that's the only way that fight happens. Yeah, that was unfortunate. I mean, it's May 5th. Happy Cinco de Mayo, and we were less than a month away. We were less than a month away from that fight that we've been wanting for 3 years, and it was finally gonna happen. And they're saying they hopefully if they fight this year. Hey, let me drop this link in, because I don't like to just talk by myself. Hopefully they fight this year. I don't know, man. Jay Rich. Turkey having the worst luck with the undisputed fights. Yeah, that's true. Oh man. Well, what are we? The 18th is Fury Usyk. Man, I want that fight to happen. I agree with this. Mungia looked very tired the last 3 rounds, and I would say maybe even hurt. It looked like Canelo carried him the last rounds. Maybe I sound crazy. No, you don't sound crazy. I don't know if he. Who knows? Who knows? He definitely did not go. Maybe if you don't say he carried him, you can say he definitely did not go all out to try and stop him. So maybe he was just content. I mean, this is the 5th decision in a row for Canelo, so maybe he was just content with it going 12. I thought Mungia well, I know he was hurt and tired in that 12th round. He was really tired, and he was definitely hurt. But Canelo didn't really just open up and go for the knockout. But this is not unexpected. No, this is not unexpected. This fight went. The only thing that was different from what I envisioned was I thought Canelo was going to stop him. Those liver shots had Mungia rethinking life. Those are some hard. Oh, and there was one especially that he hit him with early in the fight that definitely hurt him. Once he tasted Canelo's power, he got gun shy, but Canelo decided he had in the bag and coasted. It seemed. He did. He got gun shy for a little bit, but then he started to. I mean, he's only got one way to fight, so I thought he rebounded well from that knockdown. I did, and he fought his heart out. He's just not a better. He's not a better fighter. AI Canelo is slowly becoming slowly. Oh no, he's a diva. He's a complete diva. All right, we got David, my man. What's going on, my friend?
What's up, George? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
George. Here we are again.
Yeah, what'd you think?
Man, I watched the fight with my fam, and no surprises. Here we are. One more time doing almost like a carousel of just like let's just line up some fighters. And McGee is a good fighter, man. He was probably 3 or 4 fights away from a Canelo. He had some. He's just defensively. He's it's almost like he a little anemic, and the footwork doesn't really move his head a lot. I think yeah, it was just easy for us to see who was going to win this fight just based on the style.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can appreciate his the dog that he had. He got up. Anybody that touches the canvas and finishes the fight, especially against a guy like Canelo. Yeah, but nothing. No surprises.
I agree. Well, I agree with all that. The reason why I jumped on is because I was watching DAZN at the end when the PPV, because I watched PPV.com. When that ended, I went over and I saw the DAZN ending, and Sean Porter said that he thinks there's 2 guys that deserve a shot against Canelo. And he said number 1 is Crawford and number 2 is Benavidez. I disagree. Now, who knows what's going to happen, but I thought Canelo said that fight was not going to happen. He's never brought up Crawford, but you agree with Sean Porter? Does Terrence Crawford deserve a fight with Canelo more than David Benavidez?
Again, I'm just tired of seeing fighters being suggested to fight a guy like Canelo who are coming in at a disadvantage. You
Thank you.
know,
Yeah.
you got um, Crawford who would have to jump up 2 weight classes. I don't know what Crawford walks around at, but you got to get used to a weight division. You don't just get in the ring with guys who've been walking around. And you got guys, if you're fighting at 168, you got guys who are coming down from 180 naturally.
Yep.
Like it's not the same. Just because you weigh in the night of the fight the same weight, guys are going to rehydrate. And I don't these cherry picking fight the guys who are deserving, who've been making the weight, and and who's your mandatory, and that's David Benavidez. I don't care to hear nobody else. Crawford needs to focus on 154, win that title fight that he has coming up. I don't want to see him fight Canelo.
I don't either. And I love Crawford, but I'm with you. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. I'm like everyone else. I want to see him fight Benavidez, but and it was funny that the crowd booed when he was asked about Benavidez and he was talking about if the money's right. The crowd booed at that moment, which I thought was cool. Not that Canelo cares, and I don't mind that Canelo can do whatever he wants, but not with the
Absolutely.
belts. Not with the belts, but the organizations, they're not going to strip him because they get their sanctioning fees, whatever they get, 2%, whatever it is, 35 plus
Right.
$1 million. They're not going to let that go. So
Right.
they can talk all that talk. They're not taking his belts. So
No.
he can do what he wants.
Yeah. Yeah. And just to kind of wrap up, because I don't know if you got other people who want to come up, but as always, anytime you go live, George, after a big fight, I'm always try to join, man, support.
Yeah, I was hoping you would jump in, man, because I like talking boxing with you, and I knew you'd be up. Are
Oh
you on
yeah.
on the East Coast or West Coast?
I'm on the West Coast. My sleep's a little off. I went to a conference this weekend. I was working a little bit, and so I'm up, and I was like, let me stay up for this fight. But yeah, I just want to see. I don't care. Look, here's the thing. I don't care what Canelo does. I'm not a hater of Canelo. I just want to see boxing as a sport just continue to progress, and the way that happens is the best fight the best. The champs defend the title. There's like no honor in defending the title anymore.
Yeah.
Um, and I was telling my cousin tonight, a guy like Shakur, anybody that's young and up and coming, I don't want to hear no more Twitter beefs. I don't want to hear no more talking. Get in there and fight, man.
Yeah, I'm with you, but I mean, social media. That's where now. I mean, it's good and bad. That's where now you can contact fighters and talk to fighters, but you can also hear from them, and it's good in that way. But now, yeah, it's like Twitter wars now and social media beefs, and I don't care I don't really care about that. Like I'm like you. I want to see the best fighters fight the best fighters, and I think the two top guys at 168 are
Yeah,
Canelo and Benavidez, and
yeah,
it doesn't sound like they're gonna
yeah,
it doesn't sound like they're gonna fight, which is too bad.
yeah. And what is I'm really curious because like, what is the number that Canelo needs to be satisfied? They're not getting 200 million. So you tell me 50 million is I don't understand. I don't
Yeah,
understand.
well, he gets. I think his minimum is 35. Like he got. I think the minimum for this one was 35. So yeah, I you're right. I can't see him getting 200. If he can, that's cool. But you can price yourself out of fights. So
Yeah.
I don't know if that's what he's doing. But you're right. When you say that's so random, if the money's right, Well, okay, what do you want?
Yeah.
But he's not saying because, and again, it's okay if you don't want to
Yeah.
fight the guy. You
Of
don't
course.
have to fight him, but you do have all 4 belts, so you
Yeah.
got the belts got to go.
Yeah.
Ryan Garcia doesn't care about belts, but Canelo does, which I respect that about Canelo. But then
Hmm.
he doesn't want to fight the guys that should get a shot at the belt. So
Yeah.
I don't
It's
know,
clear at
man.
this point. I think the other fighter, like who else is out there at 168 for him to fight?
Well, I mean, David Morrell is kind of unproven to me, but there are
Yeah.
there are guys that are not quite on the level yet. There's you
Berlanga?
know,
No.
I think Berlanga gets. I mean, I think he gets the shit kicked out of him if he fought
Man.
Canelo.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
think he just gets torn
Yeah.
apart if he fights
Yeah.
because he doesn't throw. I don't think he's more powerful than Mungia, and he doesn't throw as many punches. So
Yeah.
Canelo, I think he'd be like a piece of steak in the ring
Yeah.
for
That
Canelo.
that fight doesn't make it to 6 rounds. Not
No.
even not at all.
No, and there's good fight. There's good fighters. Cause Morrell just hasn't had enough fights. Caleb Plant is still around. He's just inactive.
Yeah.
Diego Pacheco is young, and Billy is one of there's a lot of good fighters, but it's clear. It's pretty clear that Benavidez and Canelo are the top two,
Yeah.
and it doesn't look like they're gonna fight.
Yeah, and it's weird because it's like, where do we go from here as a fan base, as to like what we want to see Canelo do? Um, I don't think anything has a draw, unless it's you know, somebody that's not in the division, hasn't been in the division, or it's you know, just something Canelo moving up again and holding on to the belt. It's like something weird, you know.
Yeah.
So, but I hope that David wins this fight, so that way he has options, but he can choose to either go down or go up.
Like we've seen Canelo at 75, and I just don't think he's small. Like somebody had someone had a good the AI, and Canelo is a blown up 168 pounder, and that he's 100% right. He moved up. He's not really natural at that weight. Maybe because he's 33, but he's not a big guy at 168. I don't want to see him fight at 75. We saw that.
No, no.
We saw that. He knocked out Kovalev. Which was a rough fight, and then he got schooled by Bivol. So, but I don't know, man. I mean, it just seems like the Benavidez fight isn't going to happen, and that's too bad because
Yeah.
it seemed like we were finally getting some fights that we wanted, and this is one that people have wanted for a long time, and I don't think it happens. I really don't, and it should, but it won't.
Yeah, I don't care. I'm not like emotional about Canelo. Um, I just want to see good fights. And I don't think that I really don't think that it's ever going to happen. And I think he's gonna age himself out. He's gonna, you know, drag it. He's 33. He's probably gonna be 34 this year if he's not just turning 33. Um, he's gonna. Yeah, I think he's just gonna age himself out and say, I'm old. It's almost my time, and it's just never gonna happen. So,
Well, yeah,
but
but the reason why he might not do that is because he's Canelo, and he can get 35 plus million for fighting Mungia. He can get 35 million for fighting Berlanga. He can just get whoever he fights. He can pick. He fights twice a year. That's 70 plus million a year. So
yeah,
I hear what you're saying. It just, I don't know, man. It's a little disappointing, and I like to move on. And I was really looking forward to
same.
June 1st with Beterbiev and Bivol, and then Beterbiev gets hurt. So we got
Yeah,
May 18th, Fury and Usyk. But who
yeah,
knows, man? With Fury with Fury, he could pull out next week. So it's a
Yeah,
good schedule coming up, and I was looking forward to this fight, and I thought it was a good fight.
yeah,
I thought there might be a little more action,
hmm
but it was a good fight because Mungia was gonna
yeah,
he was gonna be honest in there. He wasn't gonna dog it, and
yes,
he
yeah,
he did he did what he could. He's just not better than Canelo.
yeah. What you saw tonight was, I was telling my cousin, I said, because there was a point after McGee got knocked down and he started fighting. I think it was around the sixth or seventh round or so, and I was like, man, if McGee had a little bit more skill, this is a classic. Maybe not classic in the sense of, we remember this fight years from now, but just in terms of the classic Mexican versus Mexican style of both guys are just coming forward. No one's giving anything. No one's trying to fight on the back foot, and it's just a dog fight. But Mungia doesn't have the he doesn't have the stand power to take those body shots or to be able to stand in front of Canelo. And I don't know who does. Canelo's a tough fight.
Yeah, Canelo still got power, but man, the whole Mexico versus Mexico, it just reminded me
It felt good
about the
tonight.
Morales Barrera fights.
Hmm.
I don't know if you've seen the Morales Barrera trilogy, but man, I mean, no, that was Mexico versus Mexico, and it was just three fights that were just wars, and I hope this one would be like that, but it wasn't. What it was a good fight. It wasn't a
Yeah.
great fight. It wasn't a great Canelo performance, but he clearly was better. And now we move on. Whether it's Crawford or Berlanga, my mind says it's gonna be Berlanga because that's an easy 35 million.
Yeah. It better not be on pay-per-view. It better be
Oh,
free.
it's gonna be pay per view. Oh, it'll 100%
Goodness
that
gracious.
fight will be pay per view. Will anyone buy it? Because they don't release numbers now. You realize that? Like I read, so I think Garcia put out 900,000 buys, but what I'm reading is no, it wasn't that, but nobody puts a number out now. So
Okay.
so I, I don't know. I don't know. But
So
make no mistake, Canelo will never. I shouldn't say never, but all his fights will be pay per view. a hundred
yeah,
percent,
yeah, yeah. I was being
100%.
sarcastic. I was just saying I
Yeah,
can't
yeah, I know, I
I
know.
can't see
It
Blank.
shouldn't be. I know what you're saying. Like
Yeah,
Berlanga, it shouldn't be. But Berlanga's been telling everyone, and because he's in Vegas, and but look, he wants that money.
yeah,
I would want that money too if I'm a fighter at 168. Let me fight because that is your guaranteed biggest payday. Win, lose, or draw, that's your biggest payday. So he's selling it, but man, like in boxing, the word deserve really doesn't mean anything because the fighters that deserve things rarely get it. Berlanga does not deserve a shot
no,
at a title.
not at all,
He doesn't. He doesn't.
not at all. No.
He doesn't. But he probably will get it because Canelo can pick and choose who he fights because the organizations are his friends and they protect the belt. So he fights who he wants to, and that's how boxing is. That's
Yeah,
what sucks about it because boxing makes up its own rules. Just look at the Tyson Fury fight. I'm sorry, the Tyson Jake Paul fight.
yeah,
They're making up their own rules. They're saying it's a real fight, but they're saying 2 minutes, 14-ounce gloves. They're making up their own rules. So
wow,
that's what boxing can do. So Canelo is gonna. I mean, I think Canelo, even when he rest in peace passes away, he's still gonna have a belt. He still might be WBC champion when he passes away because
yeah,
they just don't want to give up the belt.
yeah,
So
yeah. And what's crazy is it's not like David Benavidez won't be but I guess he wouldn't immediately be a $35 million. Um, Man, every single fight. So I get it.
Yeah, I
That's
believe that's his minimum. I believe like if you want Canelo, it's a minimum of
yeah.
35 million. I believe. I don't know much about the business end. I just know like everyone else what I read, but I'm pretty sure that's his minimum for any fights, and that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
lot of money.
Well, look, this is what I'm gonna do. What was the? I'm over here looking up. You said was it Julio Cesar Chavez versus Edwin? What was the trilogy?
No, it was Eric Morales and Marco Antonio Barrera. They fought three
Okay.
times. Morales won the first one, and Barrera won the second two. Man, like set some time aside one
Oh,
day.
I
They
see
all
it.
went 12 rounds. They were three of the greatest fights you'll ever see.
Okay. I'm gonna
And
watch them next.
that was a real like you talk about Mexican versus Mexican. That's why people were like, "Oh, this is the big."
Mm,
This was a good fight, but it was no Morales Barrera. It was no, and
yeah.
that's okay because that's hard to measure up to. Those were great fighters, and Mungia is not a great fighter. He's a good fighter.
No.
Those
Hmm.
were great fighters in just man. They were
Yeah.
special fights, special
Right.
fights.
All right. Well, I'm gonna tune in and I see the first one. I'll figure out the how to watch all three. Oh, they got all three on Top Rank. Okay. Cool. Well, I'll check those
Yeah,
out next time I get on here, man. That'll probably be June 15th whenever you go live after the
I go
fight.
live during the week too. Just like 2 3 times a week, I go live. So
Okay.
yeah, listen, if you watch those fights, we could do a show just talking about Morales and Barrera because those were just watch the fights. I promise you that you won't be disappointed.
Okay.
Those are great fights.
Okay. I'm glad I don't remember who you said won because it's gonna
Oh,
be new to
good,
me.
good. Well, then I won't say. All
Cool.
I can tell you is that they like Tech Dundad put they are Gotti versus Ward type fights. They are, except
Hmm.
these two guys, Morales and Barrera, their skill level was far better than Gotti and Ward, and that's no disrespect to Gotti and Ward. They were both great fighters, and man, though, yeah, I promise you,
Okay.
I
Okay.
promise you, you'll enjoy those fights.
Okay. Cool. I got something to watch. Cool. Awesome. On the Lord's Day, we're gonna be watching boxing. Awesome. Cool. Appreciate. George, as always, man, keep going. I don't care what the numbers look like. Bear it out, endure it, and just continue to do what you do best, man. You provide content for the blue collar worker, and we want to talk boxing and we want to hear it directly from you. So just continue to
I
do what you do,
appreciate
man.
that, brother. I
Yeah, no
appreciate that.
problem.
Yeah, and watch those fights, man. And next time, like whenever I'm live, just jump in because I always put the link in. And we'll talk some Morales Barrera and tell me
Okay,
what you think about those fights.
sounds good, George. I promise.
All right, brother. Talk soon. All right. Well, I still got 8 people. I still got 8 people in here. And I think ProBox is probably doing a live right now with like 30,000 people in it. And Paulie's like, ah! Paulie's doing his Paulie. You know what I remember? Um, I think it's on. I think it's on. It's probably still on YouTube. It was after the December, the fights in December in Saudi Arabia. Deontay. It was the Deontay Wilder against Parker. I forget who else was on the card. It's just escaped me. But we did. I was with ProBox then, and we did a show after, and it was me, Tim Bradley, Paulie, and Chris. And I remember Chris. He had a couple glasses of wine, and it was just funny. It was funny. That's my man, Chris. Yeah, ProBox still live. I'm assuming Teddy and Paulie's hate got to be feeling it. They're normally done by now. Yeah, I mean but you know what they do that on purpose because they know they're like people are suckers, man, and they know if they act like that, people are gonna watch. people are gonna watch. So I'm pretty sure Canelo signed a deal for one fight. Could be wrong though. I think Canelo has 2 fights left in his contract. The plan spot. I don't even know what his contract status is. My boy needs to set the notifications up when George goes live. You can't miss. Yeah, but do those notifications always work? I don't know. I don't know, Jay. It just sounds so crazy saying Mungia yet needs more experience since he almost had 45 fights. That's true. But that, you can fight 45 fights, but it depends on who you fight. And you know what was cool about my guy David? He's a younger guy, and he hasn't seen those fights like we're talking about Morales and Barrera, and he hasn't seen those. So he's in for a treat watching those fights, because those were just, man, those were great fights. Those were great fights. Yeah, you're talking about Paulie and Teddy. Yeah, man, they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. They know that they say certain things, and all the Canelo fans, and it rubs Canelo the wrong way too, but they know all the Canelo fans are going to tune in, and that's exactly what they want, and that's exactly what happens. Like if I jumped on here and, well, I don't have the numbers that ProBox does, but anyone, you jump on and you talk a lot of crap about someone like Canelo, and it's going to get noticed, especially if you're Teddy Atlas or Paulie Malignaggi. So they're smart, man. They know what they're doing. So Jay, you're not a Canelo hater, man. No, you're not. How can anyone hate Canelo? I don't hate Canelo. Uncle Teddy and Cousin Paulie. Yeah. I need to get in touch with Teddy. I haven't talked to him in a while. I'm trying to get Scully on maybe Sunday night or Monday, just to talk about the Better Be a fight. AI Paulie is hyped up on to say. Let me tell you something. Paulie gets hyped. Like he what he drinks are, he drinks these they're like coffee soda drinks called Manhattan Specials, and he gets juiced up on caffeine. Ooh. Yeah. Jay Rich, I will never get over them robbing Triple G twice. Well, you know what? Don't hate Canelo, though. Hate the judges. Remember these bogus judges. Remember in the Floyd Mayweather fight where Floyd schooled Canelo, and one of those judges had it to draw. So don't hate Canelo for Triple G. Now, I'm with you, Jay. I thought that Triple G won 2 of those fights. I thought he won the first 2 fights, especially the first one. I thought he won both those fights. I used to love Canelo until he popped twice. Well, it was just meat. It was just tainted meat, man. It was just tainted meat. Yeah. Listen, Paulie gets juiced up on caffeine, and when he gets juiced up, like if they're still live, it's 2 things. Paulie's juiced up on caffeine, and they got a lot of people watching. I have not watched ProBox in quite a while, although I do miss talking to those guys. So there you go. I mean, nobody should be surprised, and really the only reason why I did this live was because I wanted to see if I can get a poll up. I wanted to see if people agreed with my man Sean Porter, who said that he thinks Crawford deserves a shot at Canelo more than Benavidez. I think he's wrong. I mean, well, no. If that's his opinion, that's his opinion. So I can't say he's wrong. What I can say is I don't agree. Yeah, I don't even know how to make polls. It's too late anyway. It's 2:00 in the morning. I don't agree with Sean Porter. I don't agree with him. Before the main event, bro, Shit, my wife was asleep. My wife was asleep, and she went upstairs at 9:30. So I forget which fight was on at 9:30. So yeah, but I had one of my boys was over, and we were watching. G Nunez, what's going on, my man? He's just trying to get Bud his payday. Yeah, I see. Now that I can agree with. That I can agree with. Sean and Bud are close, so Sean's doing a little politicking. He's doing a little politicking. It was interesting tonight that you had the Amazon Prime announcers, and then you had the Zone had their own announcers. I don't know how they worked that deal out. That's surprising. I did watch the fight on ppv.com. I watched it on my TV. Now, I was a little confused. If anyone watched the fight on ppv.com, I don't watch fights on my computer. I don't. I watch them on my TV, so I downloaded the app. Now, ppv.com, you can live chat with Jim Lampley, Chris Algieri, Dan Canobio, I think someone else. But I didn't see that. Maybe you have to watch on your computer to do that, because I watched it on TV. Not that I was going to live chat with those guys. Was it worth the $90 price tag? AI, I'll be honest with you. I got a free, and it's easy to watch these fights for free. But I got I know people that work over at ppv.com, and they sent me not a link, but a passcode or something. So I was able to see it without paying. Legit. I didn't steal it. Was it worth the price tag? I usually say no, but it really doesn't matter what I say. If it gets buys, then it's worth it. Like if it makes money, then it was worth it. But I don't know if it made money because they don't announce results. Amiro. George, how does a 39-year-old recover from a hard knee injury? I feel so bad for him. Yeah. Like I want to get Scully on. I don't know how it happened. I mean, obviously he was running or training. They're saying that he's out until September because of the knee. So I don't see that fight happening this year. Now he's different from the normal 39-year-old because he's in pristine shape, but he's starting to show cracks. I mean, he had a knee injury after the Smith fight that he had to take time off of. He had some kind of dental surgery that went wrong, and he lost a lot of time, and now his knee. So he keeps himself in excellent shape. He doesn't drink. He doesn't smoke. But age just does. I know age just it does things to your body. It just does. So he's 39. He's going to be 40 soon. I think he will recover, but the likelihood of these things happening again, the older you get. So I'm hopeful that they fight, but who knows if they will. Jay Rich does not think the pay-per-view was worth it. Yeah, oh well, look, the undercard, to me, it sucked. Figueroa body shot at the buzzer was nice, yes. Barrios eyes swollen shut, but a typical fight from him. I enjoyed Canelo Mungia. Well, you were definitely, if for anyone who bought that, you weren't paying for the undercard, that's for sure. Triple J, I wasn't paying $90. I watched Showbiz's live commentary. He does a pretty good job conveying the action for us brokies. I like Showbiz. I check out his stuff every now and again. He's got a good personality. Like it's fun to watch him. He probably does a good job. Me personally, I would never do that because I never watch people talking about fights. But wait, hang on now, Triple J. Okay, brokies, it's so easy to see these fights for free. So even me, and I don't know technology, it's easy to do that. So, but I hear you. Look, but me, I don't like watching someone call a fight until I hear the press conference going on now. Unless it's like Jim Lampley, man. Like if Jim Lampley was doing that, bro, I'll pay. I would pay to watch a screen like you're watching me of Jim Lampley watching a TV screen calling fights. I'll pay. I'll pay for that. I'll pay for that. No doubt. Yeah, Showbiz. I like Showbiz. He's funny. Tech on Dad. It was worth it to my wife, so it was worth it to me. Canelo was her fave, so she was loving. So there you go. You know, it's if it's worth it to you as an individual, then it's worth it. That's all that really matters. Jay Rich, y'all still think better be. Well, I still, yeah, I'm sticking by. Well, I never said he's going to knock him out. I just said he's going to beat him. Oh, here we go. Wow, you guys paid $90. It was 75 shekels here, roughly $20. Well, where's here? Amia Miro. Where is here? I would love to know where here is. $20. Wow. Triple J, torn meniscus isn't that serious though, thankfully. Some football players even play through that injury. Yeah, it's not like a torn ACL. It's not like a torn ACL, so that's true. G Nunez also wasn't too fun in the undercard, so I went to see the fight at a club. Not a Saudi pay-per-views are actually worth it. Well, especially honestly, the June 1st card, even without Beterbiev and Bivol, it's a hell of a card. That's my Floyd Mayweather. It's a hell of a card. Yeah. Shout out to you. Oh, man. You know what? Being seen in another country, shout out. J. Rich, George A. Global. Yeah, I'm global. Listen, man. Like I said, Pro Box probably has like 65,000 people watching right now. I have 13, but to me, see, that's the difference. I appreciate each and every one. When I first started doing, I didn't know anything about YouTube like a year or two ago, and I would do a live every now and then, and I did one once without looking at the little button that says how many people are watching, and I talked for like 20 minutes, and it said 0 the whole time, and I said, well, what is that? Is that someone told me? Yeah, that's how many people are watching. So there was nobody watching. Nino Matiza Reseto, Viva Mexico! I like the Mexican national anthem, by the way, and I love how they say Viva Mexico at the end. Shout out to them. G Nunez now with Morel and Benavidez at 175. That's right. I forgot Morel moved up. Yeah. I can hear Canelo talking right now, so I'll have to check out the post-fight press conference. Yeah, I mean, no, you're right. There are no threats. What there are paydays for him. There are paydays. Tech done that. You pay for all the cards, huh? All right. Okay. Shout out to you, Tech. Shout out to you. I write all that stuff off, but I didn't. I was lucky enough. Fred Sternberg. Shout out to Fred Sternberg. He's a publicist. And I checked out pbv.com and it was great. Morel's been pressing Benavidez too. I seen today Benavidez welcoming that fight at 175. Yeah. Look, if they were to fight, it would be exciting. But I'm just kind of bummed that the Canelo Benavidez fight is going to happen, and I can hear my TV's on in my living room, and I can hear Canelo talking right now at the post-fight presser. So I'll probably end this, but he's not going to say anything new. He's going to say, if the money's right, I'll fight him. I'll fight Benavidez. I just don't see it happening, which is too bad. But make sure you like and subscribe. 50 minutes, 205 East Coast. I just like talking boxing, and I like anybody who jumps in wondering if that's it for Freddie Roach. No, Freddie will still, Mungia's still got some big fights in him. Canelo's not going to be around forever. Fighters are still drawn to Freddie Roach. Freddie's gonna listen. I've been around Freddie enough. Freddie's gonna do this until he can't do it anymore. Like, he's gonna do this until he dies or until physically he can't do it anymore. Oh shoot. Tech Tom Dad. That right there. That's what you call a super chat. And that is the first ever super chat. So Tech Dumb Dad, $5. I appreciate you, man. That is the first super chat I ever had in my life. Smash that like button. I don't do this for money, but that is much, much, much appreciated. Look at that. That's $5. I wonder how much YouTube takes. But Tech, I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you. I hope you go live for the Fury Usyk fight. Sending love and peace, George. Salam. Peace to you. And yes, that's my plan. There's a lot of competition. There's a lot of competition because Pro Box, they go live after the big fights. They don't go live after every fight, but they go live after the big fights. And you got Chris Algieri, Paulie, Teddy, Tim, Sean. Take your pick. You have guys who know their stuff talking. Yeah, you get no sound bites from Canelo. Yeah, so I guess maybe I won't watch the post-fight presser because he's not going to say anything. But getting back to you, Mia Miro, I hope I'm saying that right. Mia Miro, yes, I do plan. In fact, I plan on going live next week after Lomachenko becomes lightweight champion again when he beats George Kambosos. Leisure, salute, George. What's up, Leisure? Make sure you like and subscribe. Have a great night, fight fans. Salute. Night, man. It's morning, Tech. It's 2:08. It is 2:08 a.m. It's funny, man. When I do these lives, I start to ramble. Wait, what? Teddy's got what? No. Leisure, are you saying that on Pro Box or on Teddy's podcast, he's picking him over Benavidez? No shot. I'll tell you this. There's no way. That guy hasn't fought I think he had one fight in the last 4 years. There's no way Benavidez is going to lose that fight. Guarantee you. That's my guarantee. Benavidez wins that fight. Wow. Teddy drinking early. Maybe, Jay. I don't know. Is Teddy doing the live? That's interesting. Because it's late for Teddy. Teddy's no. I shouldn't talk about age. But good for Teddy. If he's up at 2 o'clock in the morning, if they're still, he said on Pro Box an hour ago. Oh, yeah, I think Teddy says a lot of things just to rile people up. I don't think he feels that. I honestly don't in my heart that he thinks Benavidez is going to lose to Vazdik. There's no way. Because I don't think there's any way he loses to him. There's no way. I see what Teddy sees. That you think Vazdik is going to beat Benavidez? Is that what you're saying, Leisure? Yeah, but there's he can pull all the greatest qualities of Vazdik that he can think of. He's not beating David Benavidez. He's not. There's no way. There's no way. You know what? Let me Benavidez by murder. Yeah, I just so Vazdik. So okay, so he got knocked out by Arthur in 2019, and he had 3 fights against nobodies 4 years later. And now he's going to jump in the ring with Benavidez, and I think Benavidez is probably going to be stronger at 75 than 68. Man, nah. Sorry. I disagree. David best win is Canelo weakest with. David's best win is Canelo's weakest with. You must be talking about Plant. You know what though? You can't. It's hard to. You can't really compare fighters by comparing. You can, but it doesn't always work when you talk about, especially if they have common opponents and what they did, because Mungia knocked out Ryder. People were like, "Oh, Canelo couldn't knock out Ryder," but Canelo punished Ryder, and then you see what happened. Canelo punished Mungia. He punished Mungia. So, yeah, man, that was a long time ago. Now, Leisure, I believe I'm with you on this one. I'm with you, Arthur. Although Arthur's getting older. Wait, Leisure, Adonis Stevenson? What are you talking about? All time? Look, I don't know, man. AI, is Vostok considered a tomato can at this point for? Well, maybe not a tomato can, but I mean, he went 4 years without fighting, and then he fought Josue Obando, Richards Bolotnica, and Isaac Rodriguez. So, there you go. Triple J, after what happened when Benavidez studies may give Vostok step aside money to make Bivol Benavidez. No, that's not going to happen because they would want to build that up more. I would love that, but that's not going to happen. Yes, Vostok will show up to fight, and you're right. It will not be enough. It just simply won't be enough. Leisure, David is kind of overrated, George. I mean, that's your opinion. I get it, and a lot of people say, well, he didn't knock out Plant, and Canelo did. Benavidez is a two-time champ, and his screw-ups, he lost the belt because of himself. You might be right, but let's find out. Let's find out, and let Benavidez fight Canelo. If he's overrated, it's going to show, and Canelo's going to beat him. I think Benavidez beats Canelo, but I wouldn't say he's going to destroy Canelo. I think Canelo can win that fight. But, the overrated stuff, yeah, there's a lot of fighters that are overrated, but let's find out. Benavidez he's earned a shot. He's earned a shot at Canelo. So I don't think he's overrated. But I won't even debate that. I just want to see him get the fights he deserves, and he deserves a fight with Canelo, but Canelo's not going to give it to him. What's up, Kyle? Teddy's pulling for Vostok. He thinks they're sleeping on him. I don't think Benavidez is sleeping on anybody. So that's Teddy just being Teddy. Plant's biggest win is Plant. Plant's biggest win is Plant. Plant's biggest win is Darrell. Plant's biggest. I think David's biggest win is Plant. Plant's biggest win is Darrell. Yeah. Yeah, but Plant is still a good fighter. He's still a good fighter. Tech Dumb Dad at 168 to give the slight edge to Canelo because of the big torso and the weight drain effect. At 175, it's David all day. Jay. David overrated? Yeah, y'all are drunk. It is late, man. It's 2:50 and I'm about to go to bed because my house is asleep. David overrated? Yeah, y'all are drunk. It's Cinco de Mayo, so I'll cut y'all some slack. Yeah. Yeah, maybe. It is Cinco de Mayo. So I just hit the hour mark. I'm about to bounce out of here. Jay Rich. Honestly, the only thing I give Canelo over Benavidez is experience. David doesn't have the best defense, but still think he could take Canelo's punches. That's the thing. That's with Mungia. That was the big question. Can he take his shot? If he could take a shot, then he could win. He couldn't take his shot. A lot of fighters showed a fight like Kell Brook versus Triple G, but the end was inevitable. Yeah. Yeah, Kell Brook tried. Man, now, well, look. Well, Jay, you guys can take take this up because now Leisure's going at you. I think like you want to say great, good, overrated, whatever. Here's the point. David Benavidez has earned a shot at Canelo at 168, where Canelo is the undisputed champion. David Benavidez has earned a shot at him. He's earned it. He's a two-time champion at the weight. He's had some issues, but he's overcome them. He's earned it, and he's not getting it, so he's moving up. So you want to call him great, good, underrated, overrated. What he is deserving. That's what he is, but boxing doesn't care about deserving, so he won't get a shot. Listen, make sure you like, subscribe. Tech, I appreciate the Cinco. I do. So happy Sunday. Happy Cinco de Mayo to everybody. And make sure you like and subscribe. Hit the like button because I'm sure that's important. Look, at least come on, man. If you make 168, then you're a 168-pound fighter. Just think. I know they say or they rehydrate, but you still have to sacrifice to get your body down to that weight. So, all right. I just liked my own show right there. So I just hit a like from me. So make sure you like, subscribe. I'm trying to get Scully. I'm trying to get Iceman Scully for Monday to talk about Benavidez and what happened. He probably wasn't around him when it happened because it probably was in a strength and conditioning session. So happy Cinco de Mayo, fight fans. Have a good one. Yes, you too, brother. Everybody have a good Sunday. Stay safe. If you're on the East Coast and you're still up, I hope you're home and you're not out. If you're on the West Coast, it's only 11:18, so the night is young. All right, peace, everyone.